This guy says the horse can do. If he says the horse can do, can do, can do.
Welcome to Odds and Ends, and I'm your host, Mike Tice. And, well, we're going to pick all four XFL games this week. I picked the last 2 weeks, week 3 of the XFL season, week 4 of the XFL season. Not fared too well. 8 games, 2 wins, 5 losses, 1 push. Got to get that rectified this week. I'll pick all 4 games, including one game will be my pick of the week. Also, we've got 3 Derby qualifying races to pick this week. I've picked 11 races to this point, 3 winners, 2 seconds, and 4 thirds, 2 out of the money. Not so bad. Got 3 races this week. Let's see how we can do. We got the Grade 2 Tampa Bay Derby, mile and 16th at Tampa Bay Downs. We've got the Grade 3 Gotham going a mile at Aqueduct, and we finish up with the San Felipe Grade 2 at Santa Anita going a mile and 16th. We'll be right back in a second with the 4 XFL games, 2 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday.
This guy says the horse can do. If he says the horse can do, can do, can do.
Welcome back to Odds and Ends, and now for this week's 4 XFL games, including my pick of the week. Hopefully, I'll do a little better than I've done the last 2 weeks. Saturday, the 2 p.m. Eastern Time game on ABC. The Seattle Dragons at 1-3 travel to those 4-0 Houston Roughnecks. Minus 13.5 point favorite are the Houston Roughnecks. They lead the league in offensive yards per game at 5.86. They also, Houston, lead the league in yards against, lack of yards against on defense, 4.47. I just think they're going to be too much for the Seattle Dragons. I know 13.5 is a lot of points, but I'm going to take the Houston Roughnecks in this to cover a big spread at 13.5. The other Saturday game, 5 p.m. on Fox Eastern Time, the 2-2 New York Guardians got their run game going a little bit last week. They got 122 yards rushing. Matt McGloin, quarterback, is out. Luis Perez took over. A backup quarterback did a nice job. They're at the Dallas Renegades. They got their own quarterback issues. Landry Jones is out with a knee. Minus 8 favorite, the Dallas Renegades are against the New York Guardians. I'm going to take the 8 points and the New York Guardians in that one. We'll see how that bears out. The Sunday games, the late game, the Sunday 9 p.m. game, Eastern Time on ESPN. The Tampa Bay Vipers, coming off that big win last week, they're 1-3. They have to travel all the way to the West Coast and take on the LA Wildcats, coming off a bad loss in New York last week. They're also 1-3. The Wildcats are minus 1.5 point favorites. I'm going to take the Wildcats in that game. Tampa has to travel all the way across country, and teams in the XFL that have had to travel coast to coast after the first 4 weeks are 0-4. The St. Louis Battlehawks, this is my pick of the week. I like the St. Louis Battlehawks. They're giving 3.5 points to the DC Defenders. Boy, the DC Defenders started out 2-0. They've been 0-2 the last 2 weeks and really bad losses. I have to take the St. Louis Battlehawks traveling to the DC Defenders. Only 49.3 plays per game against the Battlehawks because of that big run game that they have. I like the Battlehawks in that one. Those are my 4 picks, including my pick of the week. I'll be back in a minute with the 3 Kentucky Derby point qualifying races. I'm excited to talk about those. We'll be back in a minute with more of Odds and Ends. Welcome back to Odds and Ends. And now for 2 of the 3 races I'm going to pick this weekend, starting time-wise. The first one up will be at Tampa Bay Downs, the Tampa Bay Derby. This is going a mile and 16th, Grade 2, $400,000 pot. Todd Pletcher has 3 horses in this race, but I like the 4-horse, a horse that scratched out for Safi Joseph last week, a couple weeks ago. Chance It. This horse is by Currency Swap, a Florida bred, ridden by Paco Lopez, 5-2 in the morning line. Last out won the Macho Man. I like the 4-horse Chance It to win this race. I like the 7-horse Sol Volante for Patrick Biancone and Florent Giroux. Same connections that won the Fountain of Youth on Et Indian. This horse is 2-1. Last out won the Sam F. Davis Stakes at Tampa, but I like Chance It to win this race. And, of course, Volante play a little bit of an exacta there. Todd Pletcher has 3 horses in. I can't leave him out of the exotics. I'm going to put 2 in the exotics. The 5-horse, Market Analysis, ridden by Johnny V. This horse is by Honor Code, 8-1 in the morning line. Maiden winner last out. And Unrighteous by Violence. This horse is still a maiden, 20-1, ridden by Jersey Joe Bravo. Those are the horses I like. I like the 4 over the 7, 5, 9, and I'm going to play it the other way, 7, 5, 9 over the 4. This could be a really nice race to start off the 3 big 3-year-old races with Derby points, 50 points for the winner, 20 points for second, 10 points for third, and 5 points for fourth place. The Gotham is up next at Aqueduct. It's a mile. It's a grade 3 race, $300,000 pot. I like a horse by Intermischief named Mischevious Alex at 3-1. This is the 6 horse. It's going to be ridden by Carmouche. It's trained by John Service. Won the Swale at 7 furlongs last out by 7 lengths. I really like this horse a lot. I also like the 10 horse Untitled, trained by Mark Cassey. This horse was 4th in the Swale and was beaten the 4th, and it was the favorite in the morning line. But this horse is 4-1. Ridden by Junior Alvarado. And I like the 5-horse, Necker Island. This horse is 12-1. Trained by Stanley Yu, very good trainer, 23% plus trainer. This horse was 5th in the Swale. This horse is by Hard Spun, ridden by Manuel Franco. Supposedly Stanley Yu said the horse has some excuses. Those are the horses I like. So I like the 6 over the 10-5, and then the 5-10 over the 6. I'll be right back with the big race from Santa Anita, the San Felipe Stakes. In a minute, more of Odds and Ends. Welcome back to Odds and Ends, and now for a race in Santa Anita that Bob Baffert, trainer Bob Baffert, Hall of Fame trainer Bob Baffert, should dominate. The San Felipe Grade 2, 400,000, going a mile and 16th. Bob's loaded in this race. Of his 2 horses, Authentic and 1,000 Words, I like the 4-horse Authentic, ridden by Drayden Van Dyke. This horse is 6-5 in the morning line. This horse won the Sham Stakes by 7 lengths. This is another Intermischief horse owned by SF Racing, Starlight, and Mandicat. This is a really, really nice horse. The 5-horse, 1,000 Words. This horse is 9-5. This horse is coming off a big win in the R.B. Lewis at Santa Anita, ridden by Flavian Pratt. This horse is by Pioneer of the Nile. This horse was also a $1 million yearling purchase. That's who I like. The 4 and the 5 in this race could be a Baffert double. Should be a Baffert exacta. And I got to throw in here for an exotic, just in case, the 3-horse Wrecking Crew for Peter Miller. This horse took 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, 12-1 in the morning line by Sky Kingdom. This horse is ridden by Tyler Gaffleone, who comes out from the East Coast to ride this horse. So those are my picks in the San Felipe. I like Baffert, the 4-horse on top with Authentic, the 5-horse 1,000 Words for second, a Bob Baffert exacta, or as they say on TVG, an ice cold exacta. And you got to throw that 3 in there, Wrecking Crew, and maybe to pick up some of the pieces. And but we'll see what happens. But don't forget this. I hope all your horses win. I hope all your football teams win. I'd rather have a short price than a long face. You can tweet us at Odds and Ends Pod. You can also email me at oddsandendspod@gmail.com. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week. It's Derby time. Can't you feel it?